Hello everyone, welcome back to Fraud on the Telly. In today's video, we're going over everything we know about the flying city of Aeor in Critical Role, an ancient magocracy that would be struck down by the deities for constructing a weapon capable of killing a god. As always, if you enjoy the video and learn something new, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out some of our other Critical Role lore videos, like the life and story of Molly Mock Tea Leaf, or our Who Are the Prime Deities video. Okay, let's get right into it. Oh yeah, and some spoilers for Critical Role Campaign 2 ahead. Aeor, an advanced flying floating city in the Age of Arcanum, an age of magical wonder and technology. The Age of Arcanum propelled mages to push the boundaries on what was magically possible in Exandria, the apex of these achievements being the creation of these magocracy flying cities propelled into the air by an enchanted material called broomstone, which allowed the cities to float along the magical ley lines of Exandria. Across the Age of Arcanum, many of these cities would grow to prominence, chief among all of them being the city of Aeor. Aeor, like their other mage-run cities, constantly pushed the boundaries on what was magically possible, creating many works of wonder such as advanced skyships, sentient living automatons, which Aeorians referred to as Aeormatons, and great threshold crests capable of teleporting the city across Exandria and opening portals to other planes. The city of Aeor was largely populated by humans and elves, and it was said they spoke a language called Aeorian, an amalgamation of Elven and Draconic. As said previously, the city was ruled as a magocracy, with the most powerful mages governing and controlling different parts of the city. It was under their rule that the pursuit of magic would begin to grow reckless, as the mages began casting their eyes upwards to the heavens, wanting to place themselves among the gods. You see, at this time in the Age of Arcanum, many mages across the world would attempt to ascend to godhood, following in the Raven Queen's footsteps. All would fail, however, but the people of Aeor fancied a different approach, developing a weapon that could kill a god. Some would pursue this goal, attempting to develop a disease that could kill a deity. One such of these wizards was a necromancer named Feral Saul, who was once in charge of a laboratory creating arcane diseases. One of these diseases included an experiment that he released in his laboratory upon the crashing of Aeor, turning all the humanoids near him into undead. According to the Explorer's Guide to Wildemount, Feral is still alive as a wight and has been working for centuries isolated from the rest of the world, trying to perfect this disease, able to infect and kill gods, which he incorrectly assumes are all still present in Exandria, not knowing about the Divine Gate and the Divergence. Others sought to master time and possibility by performing experiments on the Primal Artifact, or better known as the Luxem Beacon. Other such experiments included the Aeorian Hunters, biological weapons capable of fighting angels, fiends, devils, and even the gods themselves. The creatures themselves require no sustenance to survive, and are immune to radiant and necrotic damage, largely resistant to magic in general. It said their memories were perfect, remembering everything that happened to them since their creation, making them cunning, capable killing machines. Eventually, Aeor would succeed in the creation of their grand weapon. We know little of what this weapon was or how it worked, but we do know that the perceived threat was real, as just before the Calamity, Aeor was planning on testing said weapon on one of the smaller flying cities, Lathris. However, so far what we know, Aeor was unable to test this weapon, as the Betrayer Gods would be released beginning the Calamity, a grand war between mortals, the Prime Deities, and the Betrayer Gods, which would end with the deaths of 2/3 of the population of Exandria. Remarkably though, the two sets of gods would come to a ceasefire, deeming Aeor's god-killing weapon as a significant enough threat to topple the city to the ground. The city would crash on the island of Foran, in what would become Isolcross, a frozen, desolate wasteland. Almost none would survive the attack, bar for a few quick-thinking mages, those stuck in strange blue stasis bubbles, and a group known as the Somnovan, a cabal of mages that would teleport the Cognosa ward of the city to the Astral Sea, betraying their fellow Aeorians in the process. Here, thousands of Aeorians would survive until the ward was racked by a psychic storm, shattering their minds, causing them to become one with this part of the city. Much information is still lost regarding the Age of Arcanum, but thanks to Aeor's ruins and EXU Calamity, we have a decent idea of how the city was laid out. The PRAESIDIS Ward, a largely residential part of Aeor, at its middle held a large amphitheater with hundreds of mummified bodies surrounding a grand dais. Near the podium rests a large stasis bubble. Within it presumably resides, alive, BRASHAAR, one of the great mages of Aeor, who scholars believe is culpable for the eventual fall of Aeor, as she would fill the wizards' minds with delusions of grandeur. The Genesis Ward, a ward designed for function more than beauty, it is presumed that much of the industrial section of the city resided here. Once the hub for much of the advanced portions of Aeor, the ward now bears a mile-wide hole that tears through its center, likely caused by Torog, the Crawling King, one of the Betrayer gods. Within this ward as well resided the repair terminal, a cylindrical chamber with a 10-foot brass dome in its center. This room was used to repair the sentient Aeormatons that roam Aeor. In addition, this ward housed much of the experimentation on the Luxum beacon in a chamber known as the T-Dock Project. Through such experimentation, the Aeorians developed the Rejuvenation Timbers, a back-to-like tank-esque structure that utilizes dunamancy to provide the benefits of a long rest. Finally, within the prestigious ward resided the Imminous Gate, a large waypoint between the planes within the city. This device was able to open portals to other planes of existence by manipulating the city's threshold crests. The Cognosa Ward, home of the Somnovan, a group of mages and their followers who were dedicated to the ideas of manifestation through dreams, becoming increasingly obsessed with the astral plane. At some point, the Cognosa Ward would begin actively working against their fellow Aeorians, hoarding knowledge and actively plotting a secession. These wizards would ultimately achieve their goal, transporting Cognosa to the astral plane, betraying their fellow Aeorians. There is much more to Aeor that has yet to be explored, as when the city crashed in Isocross, it broke apart into many sections, scattering into the frozen islands. With the end of the Age of Arcanum, much of this magic, technology, and wonders were lost to Exandria as a whole, the ruins of Aeor being one of the few places where information such as this can be found. What other secrets await in the ruins of Aeor, I wonder? I guess we're gonna have to wait for more information from Matt Mercer before we find anything else out. As always, if you enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments down below information about Aeor that we left out of the video. What other secrets do you think await in this city? And what Aeorian thing would you like to see show up in Campaign 3? Personally, I'd love to see someone get their hands on an Aeorian hunter, as just one of these things is basically a weapon of mass destruction in modern-day Exandria. As always, guys, stay safe out there. I hope to see you in the next video. Peace, love.